Hello guys. We are from Group Wearable, and we are consisting of me, Michael, Aisha, and Mindy. And this is our product, Wearable, an e-commerce tool.
So this is the basis for our product concept. And did you know 65% of e-commerce items that are returned are due to customer selection results like change my mind and doesn't fit? We might have the solution.
The history of AR can be traced back to 1968 with Ivan Sutherland, who first developed the idea of AR in 1968 as a head-mounted three-dimensional display. In 1990, two Boeing researchers developed a system for instruction board displays to develop an aircraft and coined the apparatus name augmented reality. In 1992, U.S. Air Force developed a fully immersive virtual flying training program for pilots. In 2014, Deluxe Visualizer was released to allow customers to preview the color of paint they are going to use on walls. And in 2017, IKEA released an AR app which allows customers to preview their products.
Next is Shopee Beauty Cam. This is our inspiration of our system. Shopee has a predecessor system to it. Shopee released a feature called Beauty Cam in July 2019, which allows users to try on makeup from the beauty brand L'Oreal. This is a great start for the implementation of AR shopping in Shopee. However, there are several notable room for improvements. The current product in AR is limited to makeup, and we can increase the scope of AR usage to other products. The current model only allows several notable brands to use the AR feature, and we can allow other merchants to upload their own AR model to be tried on by buyers.
So based on those previous considerations, we propose a further implementation of AR usage in e-commerce with a larger scope of product category and a larger selection of AR models by allowing merchants to upload their own AR models to the app system. This is done to increase user satisfaction towards the e-commerce. So for our goals, it is to showcase more products more accurately than the default picture and video format, and to increase both buyer and merchant satisfaction in using the e-commerce service. And for our general motivation, e-commerce is a very competitive market in Indonesia, and platforms needs to be more appealing than its competitors by utilizing newer technology to improve user experience.
We have also identified the project scope limitations. We will analyze a proposed AR feature add-on to e-commerces by attempting to conceptualize it in several UML, Unified Modeling Languages, diagrams after listing its requirements. Some UML diagrams that will be used to do this are use case diagrams, class, and object diagrams. So the project limitations are user's device is compatible with the built-in AR feature, and merchants can develop an appropriate AR model based on their product that can be uploaded to the e-store page.
Now, the functional requirements. The first one is that the buyer shall be able to choose trial products. The second one, the buyer shall be able to record the preferred style and product lines. The third one, the buyer shall be able to use the augmented reality on their phone. Number four, the buyer shall be able to check out his or her from the shopping cart. The buyer shall be able to save products into the shopping cart list. And the merchant shall be able to upload and delete AR versions of his or her products.
And for our non-functional requirements, first of all, the AR system shall be optimized to lower-end mobile devices. Secondly, the AR system shall be able to access the buyer's camera. Third, the e-commerce admin shall be able to detect and remove products that violate guidelines. And the AR system shall be able to detect and record the buyer's skin tone, face structure, and body type. Also, it shall also detect the environment lighting and adjust the AR feature accordingly.
For our use case model, the actors include the buyer, the merchant, the AR system, and the e-commerce admin. For our use cases, we will have browse products, U1, try on, U2, shop, U3, manage order, U4, add or delete products, U5, and check products, U6. For the buyer actor, the buyer is able to access the use cases, browse products, where they can view makeup and clothing products that have an AI feature. The alternate flows are product unavailable, and the trigger conditions is the item removed by admin or merchant, or the merchant is no longer active. Next, the try-on use case. The buyer can access the AR feature to try on the selected product. It has the alternative flows, try-on error, and the trigger conditions user camera disabled or faulty product AR. And finally, the shop use case. The buyer saves their preferred products into the shopping cart list and proceeds to the payment of selected items from his or her shopping cart. It has the alternative flow product entry and the trigger conditions, item stock empty, item removed, transaction failed, and trigger conditions, insufficient funds, or the cash credit card process failed, or e-wallet process failed. And for the merchant, they can access the use cases, add or delete products, where they can add or delete his or her product in their future. It can have the alternative flow product failed, upload failed, which can be caused by upload is interrupted, product file too large, or product file is incompatible. The merchant can also access the use case manage order, where the merchant receives product order from buyer facilitated by e-commerce admin. For the AR system, it can access the use case try on, while it acts as a secondary actor during the use case to ensure that feature runs without problems. And finally, the e-commerce admin can access the use cases check products, where they check and delete products that violate guidelines and regulations, and manage order, where the e-commerce admin verifies and validates buyer order and arranges and facilitates buyer transaction with merchant.
Next is the use case diagram. So this is our use case diagram. So the buyer will be able to access to browse products, which will extend to try on, which will extend to the shopping use case. Now the AR system will also be able to, the try on will also interact with the AR system. And also next, the merchant actor will be able to access manage order and also add or delete products. The e-commerce admin actor will also be able to manage order and also check products.
And here is the use case specification for our main use case try on. Its ID number is 3 and it is when the buyer tries on AR that is already attached by merchant to a certain product. The primary actors are the buyer and the secondary actors are the AR feature and the e-commerce admin. Its preconditions are the buyer has opened the Shopee AR menu. For the main flow, the buyer first of all selects an AR item to try on, then the AR feature initiates the try-on function of the selected product, and in here the AR feature accesses the buyer's camera, detects the buyer's features, verifies product AR, and displays AR onto buyer. Then the buyer views the AR result and the buyer also closes the AR feature, where the AR feature will stop its operation and the buyer will be redirected to the default product view. There is no post conditions for this, and the alternative flows will be camera access disabled, user not detected, and product AR faulty.
Now these are the alternative flows for the UC try-on. The first alternative flow, camera access disabled. This is alternative flow 3.1, where the AR feature notifies the buyer that the buyer's camera is inaccessible. The preconditions of this is that the buyer has initiated try-on feature for a product, and the alternative flow starts after step 2 of the main flow. The AR feature informs the buyer that the camera access permission is currently disabled, and the AR feature requests the buyer to give permission to the access camera. Next, user not detected. And the AR feature notifies the buyer that he or she is not detected by the camera. The alternative flow starts after step 2.1 of the main flow. The AR feature informs the buyer that the camera is unable to detect him or her. The AR feature requests the buyer to move closer or to refocus the camera. The third alternative flow, product AR faulty, starts after step 2.2 of the main flow. The AR feature informs the buyer that the chosen product's AR is unable to be verified, and then the AR feature requests the buyer to select another product. The post condition of this alternative flow is that the buyer is redirected to the main product menu.
Next is the use case requirement tracing. Now, these are the requirements. The buyer shall be able to choose trial products. The buyer shall be able to use the AR on their phone. The buyer shall be able to save products into shopping cart lists. The buyer shall be able to record their preferred styles and product lines. The buyer shall be able to check out his or her products from the shopping cart. The merchant shall be able to upload and delete AR versions of his or her products. The e-commerce admin shall be able to detect and remove products that violate guidelines. The AR system shall be optimized to lower-end mobile devices. The AR system shall be able to access the buyer's camera. The AR system shall be able to detect and record the buyer's skin tone, face structure, and body type. The AR system shall detect the environment lighting and adjust the AR feature accordingly. The merchant shall be able to accept orders. And last but not least, the e-commerce admin shall be able to verify orders. And the use cases are browse products, try on, shop, manage order, add or delete products, and check products.
So here are the classes that are utilized in our system. We divided them into control classes, boundary classes, and entity classes. The control classes comprises of class 1 and class 2, which is product database, which adds or deletes products and stores the information in a database. And C2, which is AR feature, which allows the buyer to access the AR through his or her camera. C3, which is the buyer interface, is the user interface for buyers. It allows them to try out, save, and buy products. C4 is the merchant's interface. It allows them to add or delete products into his or her online store. Also, C5 is admin's interface. And for the entity classes, it's C6 until C9. One of them is product, which is the items that are sold to buyer by merchant through the e-commerce app and can be attached with AR. C7, which is the merchant, is a person who sells products to buyer and uploads AR for their products. C8, which is the buyer, is an e-commerce customer who buys products from merchant and uses the AR feature. And C9 is the admin, which monitors and authorizes processes in the system, such as verifying AR uploads from merchant.
And this is our class and objects diagram. You can see that the control class product database is monitored by the admin interface, the boundary class, and controlled by the entity admin. The product database contains the product entity, which is added by the merchant interface, and the merchant interface is controlled by the entity merchant. The product entity carries the AR feature entity, which is added by the merchant interface. And the product entity and the buyer interface views the product entity, which the buyer interface is controlled by the buyer entity.
Now this is the class requirements tracing for the previous one. Now the requirements are the buyer shall be able to choose trial products. The buyer shall be able to use the AR on their phone. The buyer shall be able to save products into shopping cart lists. The buyer shall be able to record their preferred styles and product lines. The buyer shall be able to check out his or her from the shopping cart. The merchant shall be able to upload and delete AR versions of his or her products. The e-commerce admin shall be able to detect and remove products that violate guidelines. The AR system shall be optimized to lower-end mobile devices. The AR system shall be able to access the buyer's camera. The AR system shall be able to detect and record the buyer's skin tone, face structure, and body type. And also the AR system shall detect the environment lighting and adjust AR feature accordingly. These are the classes: product that database AR feature, buyer interface, merchant interface, admin interface, product, merchant, buyer, and admin.
And next is the sequence diagram of our systems process. First of all, the customer enters the product keyword, which will be utilized in the use case browse products. And then the use case browse products transfers the information of the products to the try on, which is where the buyer tries on the AR feature. And from the try on, The selected product's information can be added to the shopping cart. And from the shopping cart, the product information can be transferred into the checkout use case. And its checkout details can be transferred into the manage order use case, where the order details is sent to the merchant, and the merchant creates a feedback of order confirmation into the order management use case. Then the order management use case sends the order's details back into the customer.
For the alternative flow camera access disabled, the buyer will first enter the product keyword, which will be used in the browse products use case, and then the product information will be sent to be used in the try on use case. The personal features of the buyer are sent from the buyer to the try on use case to be used in the error feature, and the camera and accessibility data is sent to the camera access disabled, which will send the request camera access back to the buyer. And after the access has been granted, the personal features of the buyer are sent to the camera access disabled, which will reply with the error feature. Then the selected product information will be sent from the buyer to the add shopping cart use case. The shopping cart information will be sent to the checkout, and the checkout details will be sent to manage orders. The order details will be sent to the merchant, who will confirm the orders, and then the order details will be sent back to the buyer.
Next is the alternative flow, user not detected. First, the customer will search the product keyword into the browse products use case, and then the product information will be transferred to try on. And also then the customer will give their facial features to the user not detected class, and then the user not detected class will give the information to the customer that their face is that the user is not detected. Then the customer will resend their facial features again to the try on use case. And finally, because it is detected, then the try on will be able to give the AR feature back to the customer. And then the customer will send the product information to the shopping cart, which means that the customer adds the product to the shopping cart, and then finally they will check out the shopping cart, which means that the shopping cart use case will give information to the checkout use case, and then the checkout will give out the checkout details to manage order, and then the manage order will give out the order details to the merchant, where the merchant will confirm order and the order details will be given back to the customer.
And then is the sequence diagram for the alternative flow product AR faulty. First of all, the customer enters product keyword to the use case browse products, where it will transfer product information to the use case try on. In the use case try on, the customer will give information such as their personal features, and the try on use case will process it. However, in this alternative flow, the try on use case is faulty. So an error info is sent to the product AR faulty use case, which will be sent to the customer also, so they know that the AR is error. Should they continue to check out the product anyway, the customer will select product information, which will be added to the shopping cart, and the add shopping cart will transfer shopping cart information to the checkout use case, which the checkout details from the checkout use case will be transferred into the manage order use case, which will be transferred to the merchant, and the merchant will confirm the order, and the manage order use case will give the order details to the customer.
For our activity diagram starts with the buyer, who will select an item and then will select the air turn feature. This will lead to the initiation of the air feature, which leads to the decision node is the buyer's camera enabled? If it's no, it will lead to prompting the buyer to enable the camera, which allows the buyer to enable the camera, and then the AR feature will initiate the AR feature once again, which will go back to the decision node, is the buyer's camera enabled? This time it will lead to yes, which leads to is the buyer's features detected? If no, the AR feature will instruct the buyer to show features, and the buyer will follow instructions, which will lead back to the is the buyer's features detected? If yes, is the AR model code projectable? No, the AR feature will send AR signal to admin and buyer, and confirm AR signal is true. The e-commerce admin will disable product AR, which will go back to exit product menu. If else, it will go back to initiate AR feature and start the whole process over again. Now is if the AR model code projectable, yes, the AR feature will project AR using buyer's camera, and the buyer will be able to view AR result. The buyer will then close the AR feature. The AR feature will stop AR projection. The e-commerce admin will redirect buyer to default product page, and the buyer will view default product page.
Next, this is the UI UX for the buyer view, uh, which fulfills the first requirement that the buyer shall be able to choose trial products. The second requirement, the buyer shall be able to use the AR on their phone. And also the third one, the buyer shall be able to save products into shopping cart list.
Next is still the UI UX for the buyer view. It fulfills the requirement 4 where the buyer shall be able to record their preferred styles and product lines with the camera feature, and requirement 8, which is the AR system shall be optimized to lower-end mobile devices. It also fulfills requirement 9, which is the AR system shall be able to access the buyer's camera, and R10, the AR system shall be able to detect and record the buyer's skin tone, face structure, and body type. This is to fit the product AR into the customer's body. And R11, which is the AR system shall detect the environment lighting and adjust AR feature accordingly. This is to provide a clear product AR that will be suitable to the actual product.
Next is the buyer view when they wish to check out their products. So in this view, the buyer will be able to list all the products they wish to buy, and then it will lead them to checkout process.
Next is the merchant view of it. So it fulfills the requirement that the merchant shall be able to upload and delete AR versions of his or her product. And in this view, the merchant will be able to post and also edit the product view of their shop.
And for the admin view, it fulfills the requirement R7, which is the e-commerce admin shall be able to detect and remove products that violate guidelines.
Following UI UX link is for our UI UX version using the Figma software.
That's all from us, and thank you for listening to our presentation.